That's it, yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to this panel, and welcome to you all. We have a lot of panelists, and we have some nice slides, of which I'm probably going to get in the way. But let me quickly, the way we're going to do it, we're going to introduce the panel, then some of the panelists will talk a little bit, and we have some questions, and then obviously you can throw in some questions of your own. So to introduce the panel, if I start perhaps with Pak Sabda Nirwanda, who is the Vice Minister at the Ministry of Tourism in Jakarta. And then if I go down, you've got Ralph here, who's President Director of a company that's basically building a massive resort complex in Lombok. We have Budi here, whose company is now one of the leading integrated tourism companies in Indonesia, involved in transport as well as in hospitality and destination marketing. We have Edib here, whose basic role, I mean, his title is so long, I'm not going to read it in full, but he's basically head of public communication for the Committee to Accelerate the Expansion of the Indonesian Economy, effectively. Lorda here, who wants to be known as Agnes for this session, is basically president of Indogaya Spa, which is a leading eco-spa company in Indonesia. Is that fair? Yes? And then John here is basically running, and I'm going to get this right, owner and CEO of Eco Regions Indonesia and Eco Solutions Lombok, which is basically a focus on creating eco-tourism regions. So we've got a pretty full range of the different aspects of the Indonesian tourism economy here. Can we just, before we start, have a quick show of hands? And I think it's a fairly specialized audience. But hands up, who has been to Indonesia or is Indonesian? That's nearly everybody. Okay, put your hand down, or put your hand up again if you've been to Indonesia, but not to Bali, to somewhere other than Bali. Okay, so basically it's, as I suspected, a fairly Bali-driven audience, as it usually is. But I guess maybe, I think maybe a few of you might like to introduce yourselves a little bit more for a couple of minutes, and then we'll throw into some questions. I don't know who, Ralph, would you like to say just 2 minutes on yourselves and what you do?
Yes, thank you, all audience. We are one of the company which is, because of the supporting of the government, we can put our position at the Makaki Resort as a wonderful destination in Lombok. We are a developing company. We have developed several hotels in Surabaya, in Bali. Now we focus in Lombok. Why in Lombok? Because at the end, position of Lombok is next Bali. After Bali, but it's not beyond Bali, but because Lombok already has his own position. So government support us with the acceleration of economic. So we are one of the impact of that acceleration of the government. And in Indonesia, we have 27 destinations now growing. You will get this. This is representing around 11 destinations, which is supported by government as well. Now we are happy as a developer to invite partners, invite you all, whoever would like to develop in Indonesia, especially in Lombok, and other opportunities as well. Okay. I think that is my message.
Okay, I think if we go through the commercial guys, then the question's going to get fired at the minister first. But maybe, Budi, can you just say a little bit about what you do commercially?
Okay. Yes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm representing Panorama Group. It's an integrated tourism company. We do tourism, transportation, and hospitality. We're a public company. We've been in the business for 40 years. So our business mainly are inbound. We are one of the largest inbound operator in Indonesia. We do also travel and leisure, which is the outbound and the ticketing arm. We operate around 100 offices all around Indonesia, in big cities and in some secondary cities. And we do media. By means of media, we do exhibitions and also publishing magazines in the tourism industry. And we do the fourth one, we do transportation. We operate around 1,400 coaches. 800 bus coaches, and the rest are taxis and rental cars. And the last one, we do hospitality. We partner with Carlsen Residor Group to develop hotels in Indonesia. We aim 20 hotels in the next 5 to 7 years. We are open to any possibilities, collaboration to grow the tourism industry in Indonesia.
Okay, great. John, do you want to talk a little bit about your ecotourism?
Yes.
Just an intro.
Absolutely. Our Basically what we're doing is we're creating large-scale eco-regions. We're cooperating, as cooperation between the Swedish and the Indonesian government to put Swedish legislation, green legislation, sustainable legislation, together with Indonesian legislation to create huge tracts of land that are protected so that paradise remains paradise. What we do also is we go in with green infrastructure, green technologies, and we also go in with soft loans and joint ventures to help the local economy build up so they can provide the local goods and services, top quality organic food, sustainable fisheries. So you create a platform that's safe for investment and preserves paradise and creates multiple win-wins over all parties.
Fantastic, thank you, John. And Agnes, I mean, spa treatments has obviously been a big part of Balinese tourism and Indonesian tourism. So can you give us just 2 minutes on kind of what you're doing?
Thank you, Simon. Thank you for everyone. I'm representing 3 associations from Indonesia at the moment. One is Association for Wellness Masters, all the professors and the doctors of medical pharmacy, and so on. And another one is more on the business entrepreneur. And the last one is for Association for Professionals, therapists and management. I was the founder of 3, but I still have to be the chairwoman of one of them. The 2 others already are the people running it for the country. But myself, as my daily life, I work for, we own a company, most complete spa support company, ranging from consultancy to product academy certifications. And at the moment, I am appointed from the government, Ministry of Tourism, to explore Indonesia health tradition, and to bring them to the international comfort and promote them worldwide. I've been doing this for 25 years already. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now into the hot seat, I think. Pak Edip, would you like to talk a little bit?
Yes, my name is Edip Muslim. I'm working for the Secretariat of the KP3EI, the Committee for Acceleration and Expansion of Indonesian Economic Development. My job here today is practically to tell you that Indonesia by 2025 will have 4,500 billion US in our GDP, and 450 billion of them will be created by tourism and hospitality industry. My special task here is to communicate to you to ensure that Indonesia will have a good connectivity between 6 economic corridors. If you read my presentation there, 6 economic corridors, so easy from tourists all over the world come to Indonesia to jump from one shopping mall Sumatra, to shopping mall Sulawesi, to shopping mall Papua, and the remaining. That's all about. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Edip. So, Pak Sapta, you're now in the hot seat. Now the questions come, and you're the Vice Minister. I think, I mean, obviously...
I think it's not very hot, because why? Everybody already explained, and this has helped my job. Yeah. It's okay.
Fantastic.
I just try to.
I think we have a pretty familiar audience, actually, about Indonesia.
Yes.
But still, some may not be. And I think one of the issues for getting investment from Europe and America is that still, I mean, I've lived in Asia for 8 years. I've seen the Indonesian miracle. But still, maybe a lot of people in Europe associate Indonesia with intercommunal strife. They remember the tsunami. They're worried about corruption. Can you just tell the audience a little bit about how the country's changed over the last 10 years and why it's now booming?
Yeah, the country has been changed, I think, dramatically. I could say that. Why? This, you can see the investors starting to Indonesia since 10 years ago. And this morning also has been explaining by another Simon. Cousin Residor would like to invest, and when invest to Indonesia more than 250 million. That's that example. That's a concrete example that the Indonesia has been changed. And I would like to add also this morning, has been mentioned by these 2 eminent speakers from WTO and from WTTC. Then next term is Asia will be a powerhouse, in emerging powerhouse in the world and in Asia. That what it mean? That means 3 key factors, and then Asia as an emerging powerhouse. Of course, China India, and Indonesia. And Indonesia has been enjoyed by the more than 6% economic growth, sustain and continue. This year also we will predict it. We predicted it's about 6.2% growth. What does mean growth for our economy? Mean also we're creating what we call middle class wealth. Then even middle class wealth is increasing. That's also affected by the purchasing power, of course, in the global economy, but also there's for tourism, also they have the possibility to spend a little bit more in the leisure side, right? That's that. If we count this middle class Indonesia, maybe more than 100 million actually. Yeah. That's why I think there's a time for, of course, European and also Asian, even from America, to invest in Indonesia. There's still room, a big room to grow. In terms of tourism, we have really many to offer. We have a very diverse culture. We have also mega diversity in terms of nature. We have marine tourism, from east to west. If you want to try that from east to west or west to east, is a 5-6 hour flight. And then we did consist of 17,000 islands. Mean the marine tourism base is really emerging and really potential to be developed. Resort, I saw this morning from Simon Carson Reservoir in Batam. They want to make also one of the resort, important resort. And also in other things, I think we, as my colleague has said, we also develop in other infrastructure is important, what we call airport. There's now Bali, Jakarta, Medan, that's new building airport, new airport, right? This is also not only airport, but in Indonesia actually before, last 10 years before, it's not easy to go cross to Indonesia, from other island to island. I mean to one island to another island. From Bali to Papua, there's no direct flight. Nowadays you can fly from Bali to Papua, to Jakarta to Papua, and even from Sumatra to Singapore, and etc. This connectivity is important to visit Indonesia. That online not only, which was monopoly by Garuda and Merpati at the time, now you have many company, private company, to deserve you if you visit Indonesia. You can see one of the, now is very popular in marine tourism is you call Raja Ampat. Many diverse professional or amateurs say, we don't want to die before see Raja Ampat. In fact, Raja Ampat is interesting. And also the culture side, of course, we are most ancient country that we have many offer to you to see the culture. We have more than, 300, 400 ethnic group, and you can visit many of the center of group of culture in Indonesia. That's, I think it's really fantastic in that terms, And also if we connect it with the ASEAN in Asia, I think this is really interesting to investor to join to come to Indonesia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the economic side is very impressive.
Yeah.
Obviously, underpinning that has been the political reform, the crackdown on corruption, the clarity of the rule of law, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe some investors are worried about the election. I know Edith was talking about that before. Should they be worried about the election?
No, there is no worry because we are the big democratic countries. In 2004, I think we have the real experience how to elect directly, what we call a direct election by people to the president of the republic. 2004 has been successful. Many of journalists, especially from other foreign country, perceive that maybe something happened. Finally, we are already mature, the especially population already mature. They can elect their president peacefully. Of course, there's some things, dynamic condition can be happen, but still in control of the government.
And 2014, I don't think so. There's also, yeah, of course, dynamic because democratic, everybody want to be present there. But I must say, 2040 will be also happening peacefully for the election president, even for the parliament member. Right. And then other things I might say also, this election can be beneficial also for tourism industry, especially for the MICE, meeting, incentive, convention, exhibition. There will be many conventions. That's how the 14th party will be participate in the election. You can see if one party need 10 meeting, there are 140 meeting already. Some area. That is incentive also for them. You can, meeting is important. There's 4-5 party is important. Important they have their own capability in terms of money. Now it's very transparent. That's why you put in hand the corruption. There were very strong anti-corruption movement now. There is no exception. Even a minister, parliament member, journalist, everybody can be sent on jail if they're suspect for the corruption. There's no worry about that. No mercy also. No. Right? And of course, again, for election next, don't worry. It can be attractive and can be good also peacefully. This is my prediction. And for the MICE, yeah, they now prepare to many of meeting, convention, all of Indonesia. Yeah. Okay. Yeah? Because this is general election for all the people of Indonesia and direct for the president and also for the parliament member, local and regional and also central.
Very good, very good. See? I mean, I guess one question is, okay, the environment's good. Yeah. It's an attractive economic place to invest. But I think, Edib, you wanted to tackle this question that, people can also have the choice of the whole region. Maybe Thailand has made itself a little unattractive in the last few weeks, but, Myanmar's coming up, Sri Lanka's been opened up, Vietnam is probably at the bottom and coming back. What do you think the competitive advantages are? Why should somebody put money in Indonesia rather than one of the other ASEAN countries?
One thing, because we are a very stable country in the politically and economic and also in safety. You just touch, I don't want to underline the Thailand problem because this is our ASEAN country, we have to solidar with them. But in fact, yeah, you can see, I can say something for that. Okay. And also, another country is like, Vietnam, still different things. Indonesia, I think, has been mentioned for 10 years, maybe more than 10 years. We are very strong and stable in terms of political, economy, and of course, human capital also. Okay. That's Simon.
Right, right. Clearly one of the key issues for any investor coming in, and this is an investment conference, so I'm focusing on investors, is, how do you help them find a good partner? Who's a good partner? Now, obviously, all of you think you're good partners, so that's interesting to talk about. Yeah. But, as an example, Buddy, are you primarily now focusing as a partner, obviously, for Carlson Residor on city hotels? Yeah. Or are you looking at resorts? And why city hotels? Because, again, I think most of the audience thinks of Indonesia about resorts, whereas having been there, I've seen an absolute boom in city hotels. A lot of them, frankly, not very good, but there's an awful lot coming up. So can you tell us a bit about how people can partner to go into the city markets, the urban markets?
Yeah, just to share with you that in the last 2 years we've done 2 partnerships. One with REIT Exhibition. We partner with them because they want to come to Indonesia. They want to tap into the growing economy of Indonesia. So that's one thing. And then the year after, in 2013, we signed a joint venture with Carlson Residor. Again, the idea is to get channels to the international world about Indonesia. To partner with Indonesia, I shared the information that partnering with international companies, they want to have a transparent discussion. And I think we have to be transparent also. We have to do a win-win negotiation, win-win solution. What will be good for them, what will be good for us. Of course, they need a local partner also, which is credible and transparent in that sense. Now, coming back to Carlson, our relationship with Carlson also is a bit special because we have done another joint, Carlson has got 3 main businesses. I think number 1 is Carlson Wagon the Travel and the travel management, and then the hotel, and then the F&B. We've been partnering with the Carlson Travel site since 1999. So we are enlarging that partnership with Carlson Residor. to bring more, to open more access to the international market, to provide international services to business travelers. I think our partnership with them in the management company, we may also go into the investment side. Again, in Indonesia, it's such a big country. The ministry has a roadmap of the tourism development. Last year, 8.7 million tourists. This year, targeted 9.3 or 9.4. If I look at the roadmap of Indonesia by 2025, if not mistaken, 20 million foreign tourists coming to Indonesia. Now, if you compare to neighboring countries, for example, Singapore, last year around 14 over million. And then Malaysia is 24 or 25 million, they claim. And Thailand around 26 million. So if you compare with these countries, Indonesia has such still a very huge potential to grow, providing we have the most natural resources, cultural, and then 70,000 islands. Again, the Vice Minister has already mentioned regarding the infrastructure that has been taken place. So I think we are very confident, and I mean for here is the investment forum. We are would like to explore any possibility to collaborate in the investment in the tourism industry. And regarding your question regarding to resort or business opportunities, I mean it's a big country. It's a big country. We have resorts, we have cities, we have 31 provinces at the moment. Have plenty of things to explore.
Okay, great. I mean, yeah.
Let me just to add, maybe that's important also the information. Of course, that we are happy with the Carson Regidor. And also, as has been mentioned by Budi, we have also another group. It's also now, because we need still many room in Indonesia, another group we call Accor Group. They have only 170 hotels in Indonesia nowadays. They will still develop Ibis, Novotel, Sofitel, and others. But don't worry, we still absorb that one because other from international, and we have also very strong from the domestic side. And that's one.
Great, great. While we're talking about partnerships, John, I mean, before I met you today, I knew nothing about a Swedish-Indonesian partnership. I hadn't even imagined such a thing existed. So can you tell us a little bit about this and how it's going to work in practice and how these ecotourism regions will be developed?
Well, at the moment, we've been using a lot of Swedish expertise to we've got 2 eco-regions that we're working with at the moment, one in Sumbawa and one in Lombok. So we're putting in the legislation together with the local regencies. But at the same time, the Swedish and the Indonesian government are talking about using special economic zone legislation and putting Swedish sustainable legislation into it. So to be able to create a duplicable tool to be able to use anywhere in Indonesia. So this is being worked on now under 2014. So 2 practical examples in Lombok and Sumbawa, but the potential to expand this out over the whole of Indonesia. And of course, it creates an incredibly safe platform. You've got the legislation in place. You can preserve your natural assets, which is one of the most fantastic advantages of being in Indonesia. This huge spread of natural assets, this massive biodiversity. So you can maintain that as well. And then on the eco-region platform as well, you get soft government funding to be able to help the locals to build their businesses. That also creates a security, and it also creates a partnership with the local people and providing all the local goods and services that you need. And also that they're organic goods and services, that they're pure goods and services, local goods and services. And then also the partnership that we get on the platform as well is we concentrate very much on bringing in the infrastructure. So the green infrastructures are in place, cooperation with the Indonesian government to bring in sustainable infrastructure down to the Tanjung Ringgit site, the first eco-region. And then on top of that, we bring in key partners, a whole range of things like anti-aging clinics that we're going to be putting onto every one of the eco-regions. We work with manta nurseries. We work with a whole range of different education groups. The Blue School want to set up with marine conservation. So we put all these advantages in place and then invite different investment groups to find their place within a varied amount of eco-regions running across Indonesia.
I guess one of the issues, I mean, this is off the script, but one of the issues with these new regions is when you're developing somewhere completely new and you have to pay for all the infrastructure, I mean, I was CFO of 6 senses, and I mean, they bankrupted themselves building an island where there was no infrastructure. Is the government helping with that? Is the government putting in the power, the water, etc., or will resort developers have to do it themselves?
At the first site, Tanjung Ringgit, the national infrastructure is being put in there. But at the same time, we combine with the Indonesian government and bring in other infrastructure practices. And there's a lot of really good sort of off-the-grid infrastructure that can be used, particularly on island resorts these days, which are extremely cost-effective. We've got a range of partners in energy, waste, water, who are also landing on the platform as well. So the time is right for these technologies as well. And Indonesia is the kind of country where they're really readily applicable. These remote paradises can be made, really accessible and usable.
Okay, I mean, you're talking about obviously Lombok as well, and Ralph, do you want to tell us a little bit more? I mean, most of the audience has obviously been to Bali.
Yes.
Tell us about Lombok.
But Lombok, to me, already almost 15 years, we are waiting for this momentum, At the end, the government support. At the end, we have already the new international airport since 2011, yes. The government committed to develop the airport. And then to develop the roads already, the new road. And then this year, the government support with make wider the road and make, beautiful roads along the beach. Our beach itself is 4.5 kilometers in the bay. So the government make a road through the airport, goes through the beach side. It's beautiful. You see how the Sumbawa Street. And then what's the best in our location? There's a gold in the location. But again, it's not because the gold. The government protect us and relocate the gold mining, and they're not allowed to explore the gold mining because to protect the environment. This is, to me, is amazing supporting from the government. Tell us about Lombok. Is now the momentum. Yes, I would like to share about now, Indonesia, we have 250 billion trips in the local domestic potential tourism. This, to me, is something we have to automatically explore. Exploring showed how the return on investment is a Lombok. That's, to me, the key, the strong point. To me, from a domestic side, that's why we developed almost 7 hotels, another 5 hotels within 5 years. Makaki is one of the potential. I would like to share about the market mix to develop the sustainable, the boutique resort, the villa resort, this eco resort. You know why? Because we have 300 hectare protect rainforest from the government to support the location. This is, to me, amazing how the government support the tourism. This is my share that hopefully we can share with you, both of all. It's not only to buy the land, no, to develop together. To develop together, then our land is, there's 2 type resort in Indonesia. One is really as a resort. This is part of the government. We have the forest issue, like the Tanjung Ringgit. This is one of the policy government to protect the forest, what we call the tourism resort area, tourist nature resort, preserve. And the other one, like us, it's really this is you can have the leasehold, you can have the land title, the certificate. That's on our side. So they have two types. My side, myself, I'm in charge for the investment and the chairman of Association of Tourism Resort. I see that in the APEC, last and the APEC worldwide, we are trying to have a new regulation to have the same standard to protect the sustainable development, the eco. This is, to me, is very good with the position of Indonesia. Now you can see this. We will give you this. This is one sample of the tourist destination, which is very, very, very unique in Indonesia. And you can find everywhere, not from Lombok, but through Raja Ampat, from Merauke, from Sabang, from Aceh, Danau Toba, the government will really protect us and support, especially with the economic acceleration program. Thank you.
John, you wanted to follow up, I think you were saying.
Pick up on that. When we came to Indonesia, we had a plan to do one eco-region, but the support from the government, from the local government, and also from the national government was so overwhelming, we're now doing 6. And it's that, or planning to do 6. We're doing 2 at the moment, but we're planning to do 6. And the desire to take care of the natural assets, you know, and the force behind that is quite phenomenal. So I think that's something really to pick up on, that the support really is there. And to preserve those environments, which is a key thing for your investment. To have partners just up the bay that are pouring out effluent is going to kill off your coral in no time. It's going to kill your natural asset. But to be able to have these large natural areas and the support from the government to be able to protect them, that's really asset management, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been an amazingly impressive run, I think, from the Indonesian government of the support and coming to conferences like this and really promoting it as well. Clearly, one of the arts of Indonesian, the experience has always been the spa side. And Agnes, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about what you're doing and what the potential is for the spa business in Indonesia, because obviously that's one good way for every luxury resort to make a bit more money.
Yes, thank you, Simon. Indonesia at the moment has about more than 400 spas. Among those 400s, 85% is going to secondary. So they go to Indonesia for vacation and they enjoy. But what we are going to do now is to give more percentage to the primary, meaning that they come to Indonesia for health purpose, destination wellness. They come for any promotion, prevention, even the curative, to the anti-aging, like what John doing. Yes, and we will do that in heavy promotions where Indonesia health culture is take part importantly. And for this purpose, the government is very into this because Indonesia health culture is actually already known. Again, I always said 5 years all this time consistently, but there is no written or real award that to me can be seen. The real one is the economy growth from the wellness business itself. Why Indonesia? Because it is proven, it is heritage, it is golden hands, it is economically data is there, and the golden hands, it is only Indonesian that has this passion to serve, not being servant, but being helper to help people health to be promoted. That's the happiness of Indonesian. The herbal, the spices, we have so many reasons why Indonesia Spa has to be not only exist in Indonesia, but also exported worldwide. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Yes, yes.
As Agnes, that this has been proven or for the anti-aging wellness.
Obviously, in her case, yes. Obviously, that's a big. This is the new thrust of the meeting, the anti-aging.
Yeah,
I think they're looking at the audience
you know.
and the moderator and thinking we all need it a little bit here.
For myself, you know, I'm more interested, more look like more younger than that's important.
I'd like. Does it give me my hair back? I mean, it would be good. Huh? So we've done a lot of talking up at this end of the room. It's meant to be a panel, so we'd really appreciate some questions from the audience. And I think you can see we're asking hard-hitting questions about corruption and whatever. So it's a very open forum. Whatever you want to ask. Deepak.
What is Indonesia's plan for EC near 2050 in terms of tourism infrastructure development?
I think this has been a long discussion for that, and I think we prepare in Asian level for the 2015, and also I think last time we prepare for the infrastructure, especially also for the what we call open sky policies, and also some the area for the visa facilitation. That's, I think, that's the also the important things we have been discussing and we try to implement in 2015. For the economic acceleration, I think also some cases also, maybe Pak, you can help me.
Yes, as I told you before, it's very important to notice that the AEC started 31st December 2015. 1st January is the implementation, 2016. So, honestly, you have 360 days to go to invest now to Indonesia. After that, you must compete with other, okay, Singaporean, Malaysian. So now the Vice Minister is ready to serve you with the privilege, probably. I don't know. However, talking about first open sky policy, we dedicate 5 airports only. Only. We are not going to open another for that, though everybody pressuring us. First is the Soekarno-Hatta, the Jakarta ones, the Kuala Namu at Medan, and Hasanuddin, Surabaya, and also Denpasar. But I know we understand that everybody pushing us, but we insist that otherwise Changi will be another branch that to Garuda for landing. Secondly, we are insisting that Kuala Namu and Hasanuddin will be the hub of Indonesia air transport of the future. Not Soekarno-Hatta. Soekarno-Hatta is very heavy. You must praying 10 times before landing or take off from Soekarno-Hatta. So that is the point. So we make other beyond Java, unloading Java. Also Bali, we are trying to get more people to build to Bandara International Lombok, to come to Lombok. That's why Pak Ralph and Pak John here always believe that only 2 destiny for investor to come to Indonesia. First, to become rich, very rich.
I think especially for you, that from Indian side, you can fly to Kuala Namu, Air India can fly also to Lombok, Bali. You have 5 choice, no worry. But of course, preference Bali and Jakarta, and you can go to Lombok also.
So you utilize the 360 days.
So while I've got you all here, I'm going to ask, is the airport that's rumored so often in North Bali ever going to be built, or is Lombok going to do that instead?
Yeah, there is a plan for that because, we cannot avoid that Bali is still attractive destination in the world because it's the best island. That's the government thinking we can do also the northern part of Bali is also one of the airport. Maybe for the domestic and the southern part is for the international one. That can be also that one. That's in the plan and still now is still on.
Please allow me to say, not focus on Bali as the First Minister stating. We have a lot. The shopping mall of Papua have a lot of factory outlet to go. Tourism in this case. And also Sulawesi shopping mall have a lot. So now we are project no less than 27 airport, 24 or 27, I cannot remember clearly. New airport until 2016. Everything with the capability of 150 to 170 passengers, meaning 737-800 or Airbus A330. So that is the meaning what connecting Indonesia to make transact with confidence among tourism. Yeah. Gentlemen, we are offering to you 5,200 kilometers, not archipelago, a continental of tourism between London to Ankara. That is the money you can grab from London to Ankara altogether. That is the money. Very rich or rich.
Yes, I think this good example, Lombok. Now there is a flight coming from Australia. There's 2, 3, what? Yeah. From Australia. Yeah. And also there is from Singapore. There's from Kuala Lumpur. That is starting, that is good condition in Lombok. That's an example.
Good. Any other questions from the audience? I think it's always good to get everybody woken up. Does anybody want to throw in something?
Yes, that's 2.
Yeah, I have a question. My name's Eric. I'm actually with QuestX. If I weren't sitting here right now and I wanted to find out about investment opportunities in Indonesia, And if I wanted to find out what were negative investments or what were supported by the government or what were the rules and regulations, and I wanted to do research, where would you direct me?
You want to say that, Edib? Or
Yes, this can, I think there is a negative list and etc. You can access in the investor regulation. You can consult with Director General of Investment here in Bali. Because this is, there's long list, there's a short list also, but there's also law related with that. I think you can assist or can ask this Pak Firman after this conference. Yeah.
Allow me to add it, yeah.
Yeah.
Negative list. Don't say about negative list. About positive lists. That's better, right?
Yeah.
Negative list are only about marijuana and something like that.
Yeah.
The most important, together with us today, we have Mr. Eno Suprapto, that's Secretary General of Indonesia Special Economic Zone. He can explain to you about incentive, not about disincentive.
Yeah, but I think the list they can be asked for
Later on, you can get it. But please, Pak,
Yeah.
open for you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. Second question we had here.
I had a question about similar to that one, incentives and support from the government when you're investing in a country.
Pak Firman, please. Yeah, please. You just add for the incentive, etc. That maybe.
Yeah, thank you so much, our Vice Ministers. I just would like to explain a little bit about the special economic zone in Indonesia, because I'm in charge for that. At least there are three benefits if you invest in special economic zone. This one is integrated of the infrastructure development. Yeah, so the government prepare the integrated infrastructure, regional infrastructure development. And we try to mix like what we call action plan package. Yeah. So it contains that what kind of infrastructure needed in that area, and then when to be built, and who responsible for that. And the first one. The second one is that try to integrate the business license. So if you invest in that area, you don't need to go to, for example, central government, provincial government. You just in the area. Yeah. And that the third point is try to integrate the fiscal facility from the central and the local, provincial and the local government. That's the third benefit if you invest in the SEZ in Indonesia. But I think in detail we can explain a little after this session.
That's I mean. Yeah. Because it's detail, you can go through with them because they are specialists for that. You can ask paragraph per paragraph what this is, because incentive, fiscal system, I think this is in general term, right? You can consistent. If you share this one, please.
Okay, we have a question here.
Yeah.
My name is Klaus Lengefeld. I'm from the sector leader Sustainable Tourism for GIZ, German International Cooperation Agency. We have a huge program in Indonesia that has to do with tourism as well, regional economic development in Lombok. We're just doing a study on the eco-footprint and the economic benefits of tourism there. What we have seen is also in other countries, if you really want to have tourism investment, you need to harmonize or harmonize it with other developments. Talking about Raja Ampat, for example, it is one of the top diving destinations now. It has one of the best biodiversity for divers, but there are some plans to do some development on the islands. And if you are not careful, and if you have erosion and those impacts, then you will destroy the coral reefs. We have the oil industry that is not very good together with tourism. We have specific issues such as oil palm industry, destruction of forests. We have the issue of the rhinos and the last animals that are really highly endangered because of poaching and other reasons. So how do you manage to give the priority to tourism, that these assets of tourism are really protected? I very much appreciate what he has said of the eco-regions, but isn't there also a conflict of interest because the other industries, also farming, oil, have strong investors and strong power and lobbying. So how do you manage that to say really tourism for the long term, it's the best industry in this region, so we have to stop full-scale plantations, or we have to stop oil industry?
Who wants to take that one?
I think this case, we have central planning board, right? And then in this normal days, in that kind of meeting, we try to harmonize between the sector. As a good example has been mentioned Pak Rab, there is gold, yeah, Pak? Yeah. There is a mining gold in that particular area in Lombok. Why we don't exploit the gold? Because we do know this destroy environment. This destroy tourism. And also maybe there is already calculation, a benefit cost and ratio that more costly than we have mining gold, then we have other things, means tourism. Why? Not only cost in terms of money, but don't forget also social cost. That's why now the government aware and has consistency in these policies. Mean we don't want to destroy at any case of places, especially just for the purposes of economy. This is an example. One thing is another example, in the West Sumatra, there is a potential for coal mining. But the mayor there asked me, "Pak, I don't want this area beautiful. You just selling the scenery, but it's never ending. You selling scenery is never ending project. Just look at, and you're hungry, and you need transport to go there, and finally they can stimulate economy local there. If you just dig, then destroy all the thing by digging out the coal mining. Of course, it's not necessary. We close all down all the mining. No, we just look at this the particular area. Of course, we still allow the use for the mining, right? Yeah, and Raja Ampat at that time also there is a long discussion because they have also some mining also that area, that particular area, and we convinced the Bupati, means the mayor there. Yeah, what you are going to do if all these coral reef will be destroyed because you have that kind of mining there. And finally, until now, I think the Raja Ampat is still the best area for diving. And that's the way the government see. But in the planning, national plan, of course, there will be some harmonization of the policies about that one. Right? Yeah.
So in our MP3EI documents, we have 5 components to be put into balance when we develop something, whether it's mining, whether it's smelting, or whether it's something tourism, including water, energy, health, sanitation, education, agriculture, and biodiversity. So those components, we calculate that in every project, including in, like Pak John stated, in Lombok case, we put over that. And he put more balance sheet with the good, figures, with water and energy as well. So no problem with that. But if this balance sheet, 5 components of balance sheet, annoyed and challenged by the project, so we consider. But we calculate through AMDAL to the environmental, study, whatever. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's a big change going on in Indonesia. When we came there, I was very surprised about how sustainability has really come onto the agenda. And it's something that's happened in the last number of years. And the areas are zoned. And at every department that we've gone to in the ministries, we found a huge awareness whenever it comes to sustainability. The Swedish government sent the Vice Minister to the Environment to do a tour, also the Swedish Prime Minister as well. And sustainability was on the agenda in all the meetings with all the different ministries. We got a very good response. So
I just want to put some information newly, especially for the Mandalika in Lombok. We think we are on pipeline to agree or to sign a contract with one of the renewable energy agencies. Why? Because we want to, in order to really to avoid the kind of the damaging, because we need what we call energy supply for the resort and also for the theme park in that particular area. We still, because Indonesia, we are in the equator line, the sun shines, particularly most every day. that we want to see and use that solar energy, and in combining with the, because you can see the like panel solar, and I just visit that area, they can be combined by using the agriculture side. I mean, the bottom line of the panel, they can use as farming, and this is organic. They can use for the tomato, for the, salad and everything. That's good. Then the energy can be provided to the resort, etc. That will be signed in next couple of weeks, and we dedicated from 1,135 hectare for this purposes only just 10 and 11 hectare. That's a good sign. We are really concerned about the the environment and renewable resources. Since actually we don't have really one big project for the panel, solar panel energy and using for the resort, even in Bali.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, Simon, you had a question, I think.
Yeah, it's a question for Mahbudi about investment in the private sector. There's some questions earlier on about the government's assistance to investors.
Yeah.
But in the private sector, if there's an investor sitting in the room now that wants to get exposure to the booming hotel property market in Indonesia, but wants to invest not in single properties, but rather into a platform that would give them wide exposure across the country with a reputable local partner, how can they do that with your company?
Thank you. Thank you, Simon.
This is partner or?
Potential investor. Yes, look, I think prior to answering that, I would like, regarding incentives, for example, we talk about tax incentives just now. But I think in our role in the industry as a ground player, I look at the changes in the mentality, in the awareness and willingness of the local government. I've spoken with many mayors, many regions, and they all now put tourism as their first priority. They want to develop the tourism, but they need investors. They come and talk to us how we can promote, we can collaborate to boost investment in their provinces. I spoke with the good friend of Pak Sapta, the region of Samosir Island, yes, for example. And then the mayor of Sawalunto in West Sumatra. And then the mayor of Bogor, the mayor of Bandung, the mayor of region of Raja Ampat, and so on and so forth. So they are hungry about investments. They need investors. That's why, in this case, we are availing ourselves. This is an investment forum. We open doors for any investment opportunities. Our company, I represent a public company. Again, we have partnered with Carlsen Residor to manage and maybe to build some hotels in Indonesia, 20 hotels in the next 5 years. But then we can do it through many various sources. Could be from our own equity, joint equity, could be from a panel of investors, from international investors. What have we? Private equity, hedge funds, or any other family houses, we can talk. And to develop a platform of properties, not only one or two, because Indonesia has got so many to offers. We have Lombok, we have Raja Ampat, we have got the 16 destinations being promoted at the moment. So they're hungry about investments. The local authority is willing, aware and willing to help investors to invest in their areas. So that there are demands for that, and then we have to do the supplies of investment. Of course, as one company, we cannot do it on an individual basis. This is a country effort. It's an effort of everybody sitting here. So again, one of them is through a panel of investors, through investing in panel of hotels, for example, in this matter. Or we can be raised also through a capital market, as we know, Indonesian capital market also is growing rapidly. And also from banking sources, internationally or domestically. So I think again, with Pak Edip said, I agree, the momentum is now. We have to ride the momentum of the Indonesian tourism growth. And if you don't take the momentum, you'll be left behind, and it's very hard to catch it. Thank you.
So much. Okay, we're getting short on time, but yep.
Please be aware that the business is also include wider view. We need the faculty of sushi, faculty of sashimi, faculty of stewardess, faculty of pilot, faculty of ground crew. You can invest in many parts. You can imagine, Pak, 1,600 aeroplanes operate on the archipelago. They need every single thing. That is only one thing, shipping and everything. Please widen the scope, like this morning, new normal view. That is the normal view, is Indonesia. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe last question.
Good afternoon. My name is Ray Bigger. I run my own company called Think8. The theme on a number of presentations, not least of which I was involved yesterday with Peter Shacklin of Harakuna, differentiation, that's popped up half a dozen times. So if I'm sitting here, I'm delighted that the progress that Indonesia's made. I've been in Asia 20 years now. But leaving that aside, looking at it in the cold, clear light of day, everything that you've said can be duplicated by another country. So that point of differentiation, what is it that Indonesia could say, this is what we are doing, or this is what we can do, that gives us either first mover advantage, and we'll get up and running and we'll be 3 years in front of the game. Is there anything at the moment that you could do? Then I've just got one suggestion after that.
86,000 beach length. That's the difference. We have sea, Pak. 6.9 kilometers square, if not mistaken, Pak. That is the point. Because easier to develop something on the sea rather than on the land. On the sea, you make a permission to the fish. On the land, you have to permission to the governor, to the bupati, to region. So it's more little bit shaky. But on sea, Pak, we have the stimulus of the archipelago that we have distinctive, and also we have a distinct climate change situation. Based on UNFCCC report 2007, that is the latest, I believe, we have 100% return revenue of water from God. Really, Pak. So the others, like Brisbane, for instance, I'm not talking about country, actually, local of the, of the climate change, discounted 20%. And next year, absorbed 100%, discounted again, return to 80%. So water become critical. Now water is our distinctive competitive advantage, including our beach bar. So that is our thing. So island and everything, Morotai, for instance, is in waiting, Pa. Everybody wants to go there. I'm not saying the country wants to go there, Pa, but however, everybody wants to go there. Morotai.
Yeah, I think the point of differentiation is based on whether that resonates with consumers. You're probably right. Can I just make a suggestion? When I was in corporate life, I worked in 5 industries. Now I've been running my own company. I've now worked in 20 industries. And what's a feature of those industries? They all tend to be somewhat introspective. Those companies which are now beginning to make that point of differentiation are actually being truly innovative, are going to completely unconnected industries and saying to them, how do you go about this? What's your process for this? How do you do this, that, and the other? So I think you've got some brand alliances there, clearly. But have you thought about going to, for example, Procter & Gamble, leader in FMCG goods, and just simply sitting down and saying, how do you do it? How do you go about it? What were the threats? It might not produce anything, but the whole thing about innovation is, it suddenly pops out of the room. It gets a group of people working together and you come up with some ideas. So the suggestion, it's purely suggestion, because some of my clients is exactly what they're doing now. They're going to talk to their opposite numbers in other industries. The minister goes to talk to Hewlett-Packard, goes to talk to Jeffrey Immelt at General Electric. I'm sure you'll get in. And just see what he says. It only has to spark an idea or two, and it creates momentum for innovation. As I say, it's just a suggestion.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ray. I think we're coming to the end. I would say one differentiation that this panel can't say, because it would be maybe even arrogant coming from them, but having spent 8 years in Asia, I have to be careful what I say here, but there are far too many governments in the region where the interest of the politicians is in getting rich, getting powerful, milking the country, and they don't really care what happens. I think a key point of differentiation in Indonesia is when you see it, this is a government that is really doing things for the country, really putting in place the right legislation, really bringing in the investors, really doing things for the people, not for themselves. And I think that is more unusual than most Europeans realize. And I think it is standing Indonesia in very good stead compared to many of its neighbors. So anyway, I'd like to thank everybody on the panel for coming along, giving some very frank answers.